Good morning, good afternoon. It's 12:22. Maybe that's my time. Maybe 12:22 needs to be the time that I shoot for every day. I'm going to wait for some people to join me. There goes the bat signal. Come on in. Come on. Drawing you in energetically. Come on in. There's a lot. Oh, I did it. I drew one in. Keep that energy going. I'm just drawing people to me today. Oh, me. It's one of those days I've had to struggle to pull myself out into humanity. So give me a second. Hi, Lisa Kessler. How are you this morning? This afternoon? Some of you it'll be morning. Some of you it's evening. It doesn't really matter, right? Time is not that important anymore. So, Sandy, good morning. How are you? I'm all about healing today. I'm all about there's this sense of loss. You know, in the world, a collective sense of loss. It seems when you look at the news, there's so much between COVID and then the collapse of the building in Florida, and every time I look someplace, there's another great loss. Good, I'm glad you're doing well, Lisa. And it brings me into my own sense of loss, and I've been really in it this morning. And it's okay because it's a part of healing. You know, we keep going into our sense of loss, we keep going into our grief, so that when we're ready for it, it's like it comes back in a wave and it's ready. And when you first start, and there's many people that I hope people will pass this around to those people who have lost loved ones, because there's a lot of loss. And we're not just talking about, you know, a spouse or a grandparent or a parent, family member. It could be a fur baby. Now, there's that sense of loss in so many different ways. And it also could be the loss of a relationship. It could be a breakup. There's so many ways that we sustain different kinds of losses in our lives, isn't there? So I'm in that space, and I find that when I'm in a space like that, there's a reason for it. There's somebody that's going to watch this, maybe many that'll watch this, that will relate to that sense of grief, the sense of coming back out of grief. It's a big thing for me, and oftentimes, hi from the Philippines, Joanna. Good morning, Joanna, Marie. I can't get all that name without glasses on. Nice to see you, Charlie. I think I see you too. So those of us who are going through, or who know people who are going through a sense of loss, I feel like it's important sometimes to just bring that up. You know, I have this part of me that's like, well, it seems like all I'm doing is harping on losing Steve, and it's not. I'm not harping on the loss. I tend to talk a lot about the gain. I tend to talk a lot about how the veil is so non-existent and how he comes to me so often, and this morning came to me again. He loves to catch me right out of the shower, wrapped in a towel. It's like, and the perfect song comes on and we dance. And I just so feel his energy, and I know that he's here with me so often. And in those moments when he makes himself so known, it's like, okay, there really isn't a veil. The veil that separates us from our loved ones is a veil of disbelief. It's that sense of, well, they're not here. I don't believe they're here. I believe they're gone. We so often want to hold ourselves in that place of pain. Why do we hold ourselves in pain? It's that place of, if I let go of the pain, I'm letting go of them. It's like I'm letting them down in some way. Like the more I love someone, the more pain I'm supposed to experience. And they really don't want us to do that. I know we will. We can't help but do that. There's that physical sense of, well, they're not here anymore. You know, I've got their clothes here, I've got their shoes here. There's the desk, there's this, there's that, and they're not here to do it. And I can't just walk hand in hand down the street with that person. I can't go, you know, find them and say, hey, let's go out to dinner, or let's go see a movie, or whatever. So it's that physical, purely physical sense of loss, because I can't tell you how many times I've taken myself to the movie theater all by myself. One time I was sitting with Caleb beside me, and I knew Steve was in the chair beside me on the other side, and I kept looking over there because I felt his energy. And after a while, Caleb was picking up on it. He's like, what are you looking at? And I said, right there. Like, it's a Marvel movie. He's not going to miss it. He's right here with me. So it's our perception. It's our perception of and that belief system, that willingness to allow for those magical moments, those moments of I step out of the shower, I wrap a towel around myself, and all of a sudden, and that happened the first time to me probably a day after he passed, where he suddenly, his energy just came in and just wrapped me up. So it's important for us to continue sometimes to bring that up, because in this time of great loss, that reminder is so needed. It's so needed to know that those that we love, even the pets, they still walk with us. A part of them stays. You know, even though we've got growth to do and we go off, everybody says, oh, don't even try to contact him. That's what they tried to tell me. Don't even try to contact him for 2 or 3 months. He's not going to be able to. He's going to be off and healing. We won't be able to communicate with him for you for a good 2 or 3 months. And that's a total cop-out. I'm sorry. For anybody that ever tells people that, it's a total cop-out. I need you to know that. It's coming through so strongly from Steve right now. It's a cop-out, because when we pass, a part of us always stays with our loved ones. It just does. He's like, what do you think? Do you think we have limits on the other side? We don't have limits on the other side. We can be in a million billion places at the exact same time. There's no need to think, well, if I have him with me, he can't be there with his children. Or if I have him here with me, he's not moving on. Now, sometimes there is a sense of either they don't cross over, or they cross over but they don't fully allow themselves to go into healing. And I did experience that with Steve. We had an unhealthy cord because he didn't want to let go. A part of him didn't want to fully let go and go into healing. But it's very soon after they let go and they keep moving higher into healing that you realize that there is this piece of them, that personality part of the spirit, that part of them that was in this lifetime with you, that remains. It doesn't really ever, it's like this beautiful echo, I want to say, but it's not. An echo sounds like it's empty, and it's not. It's filled with love, it's filled with life. And I hope that people can hear me on that. I know you feel like you've been left alone. I know you feel like they're not there, but if you pay attention, you'll see. This morning, he's been so obvious to me. This is Captain Obvious again today. I walked out front to the mailbox, and there, right in front of the mailbox, is a cluster of butterflies. 3 or 4 of them just sitting there, just kind of yellow butterflies waving their wings, and I'm like, hi, Steve. You know, it's so often that they will put these things in your path, these rainbows that come out of nowhere, and these symbols and signs, things that only you would recognize. And if you're paying attention, you see. So that's, you can't feel your son around. Any advice? Yes, Sandy, I'll give you some advice, and I hope other people hear me on this. It's me, the pretty one, Charlie. That's so cute. Lost your son a year ago, overdose. Trying to tune in. There is this sense of guilt, shame, blame. I'm not sure where it's coming from, if it's you. It's you. It's you. It's you, Sandy. In that sense of when we lose our children to something like an overdose, when we lose our children to anything. I had 2 miscarriages and I carried a huge amount of guilt. I'm like, what did I do wrong? I did something wrong that caused this not to work out. And I carried a lot of guilt. And I feel like I still have some work to do on that. And that was at a very early miscarriage. When you have raised a child and they've gone through something like an overdose, there's always, we feel guilty. A good parent feels guilty for everything anyway, don't we? We're just like, no matter what they do, if they get hurt, they stub their toe, they trip. Lyron we went to Florida, and we went out swimming, and she got a little sunburn, and I was like, oh gosh, that's my fault, you know, and I still feel guilty about it. It's a sunburn, and it's already healed, but it was my fault for not making sure to protect that child at the age of 14. I didn't slather on the sunscreen. So if one of our children goes through something like an overdose, imagine. So the way that you find a closer, it's not that they're not close. When we are in a lower vibration, when we're in a space of pain and suffering, and we still feel that lower guilt, shame, blame, when we've got all of that going on, it keeps us. It's not that they're not there trying to put out some messages, trying to let you know that they're okay. We just are, they can't come into a lower vibration. So he's up above you, trying to send you signal. Oh God, wow. Yeah, he's so there. Sandy, he's so there. As soon as I tuned into him, it makes me want to cry. He's so close. But your lower vibrational emotions are keeping you from sensing him. I can feel him right across the top of my head right now. He's so there. But it requires us to do the work. After Steve passed, the way that I got really in tune was to put myself into a very deep meditative state. I had to really allow myself. I would talk to myself a lot. I would go in the car by myself and I would create space, or I'd take the dog for a walk, and that's a key word too, is creating space for them. It's going off by yourself and talking to them. And you might just, like let everything go when you're talking to yourself. You go in the car, you put in your earbuds. People think you're just talking on the phone anyway. They won't think you're crazy. You create space for your son, and you sit in the car with him, and you just imagine that he's right there beside you in that seat. And what do you want to tell him? What do you need to let go of? And he's okay with it, I promise. Whatever you got, whatever kind of anger, whatever kind of hurt, whatever kind of pain, whatever kind of shame, blame, whatever it is that you need to release, you sit there in that chair, in that car seat, and you let him sit there beside you, and you just tell him everything. You let it go. And sometimes for me it was also writing. I journaled a lot, and I spent a lot of time sitting there just writing out everything that I wanted to tell Steve. Everything. And I need you to know that it's not a time to hold anything back. This is your way of healing. You have to unload all of these lower vibrational. And when you do this, sometimes for me, what I did was write it all down. I wrote everything I ever wanted to tell him down. And then I built myself a little fire. I had a little cauldron, a little cast iron. Sometimes I've used cast iron frying pans even to do this. And so I had it there with me. And I had matches with me or a lighter. And when I got done writing everything I needed him to know, or everything I always wanted to tell him, I lit it on fire and I let it burn. And in doing that, it was like me releasing that pain, that shame, the guilt, all of it, because I blamed myself so much for his passing. He had cancer. But I, from the moment he was diagnosed, I took it on myself like it was my fault. So I had to release all of that stuff in order to get myself to a place where then the playing field was cleared. And at that point, when I finally got to the place, and please, this does require work. I tell this to people all the time, your loved ones are close, and they're like, well, I don't see them, I don't feel them. It's because you're still in that low vibration, so you have to work and learn how to bring your vibration up. They're above you about 3 feet. That's it. If you bring your vibration up towards them, they will bring theirs down towards you. They can't come into anything but love. So anything that doesn't come from love, they can't do anything with that. But he's there. Every time I focus my energy on him, I want to cry. He's there. So I'm so glad that you showed up this morning. Please know that. If you need some help with it, I work with people on this all the time. I can help you raise your vibration. We'll work one-on-one, and we'll get you to a place where you will find contact with him. I don't think you're that far from him. I don't think you're that far away, okay? I see you understand, so I'm glad that you're getting that. You have a lot of dragonflies. What else is he sending you? Definitely dragonflies. I got a definite plus on that. I see feathers. What else has he got? These white feathers come at you from nowhere. You'll be like walking through your house and you're like, where did that feather come from? Watch the clouds. Watch the clouds. They oftentimes, that's a fun game for those who have passed. They love to send shapes in the clouds. I can't tell you how many times we used to collect flying pigs. I loved flying pigs, and he was always finding them everywhere for me. I just saw another flying pig in the clouds yesterday. It's like they make them, and they're so clear. You're like, okay, thank you. It'll be in those moments when I'm really down and I can't get myself up there to be able to really feel his presence, and all of a sudden the perfect song comes on. Listen to the songs. There's always messages in songs. And then watching the clouds for messages from them, because they often do that. So just pay attention. Pay attention. It's always creating space for anyone that's watching. We create space for our loved ones. We don't just sit there and go, well, they're gone forever. We go, no, I know they're not gone forever. I know they're really close. And that can be a pet too. I know they're really close. So then you pay attention to their energy. Suddenly you walk into the room and you're like, oh gosh, what is that? What did I just walk into? They feel like pure. There's nothing like it. It feels like you just stepped into heaven. They feel like this beautiful love energy that's all encompassing. When Steve first started doing that for me, it was like I'd step into his energy and I was like, oh gosh, I can't move. Like it would just freeze me. I would freeze in my tracks, and it was like he was literally wrapped around me like a bear hug, holding on. And all I could do was just stand there and just be in it. So just pay attention. Pay attention. Yeah, you are so close. Beautiful. Outside looking is seriously what to God. Wait, through. There we go. Outside looking up is seriously what got me through this last year. Yes, you were there. You were there. He was there too. You were looking right up, and he was trying to show you. He was trying to show you that I'm right there. So you were so close. You are so close. He hasn't gone anywhere. He's still right there. When you look up, you're like, there you are. They are so close to us. Yes, we can't. Typically, we don't see them walk up and start talking to us, but they are seriously so close, and they want us to know. And this whole veil is so, like, we're always like, there's a veil between us, and we feel like there's this big wall that keeps us from our loved ones. And the truth is that that veil is really not even there. It is only your belief that makes you envision a veil or some kind of separation between you and your loved ones. And when you let go of that belief, which is easy, somebody told you a long time ago that there was a veil there was a separation between you and those that you love, and you believed it because you were little and young enough to take it on as truth. We do that all the time. So what if they were wrong? What if they were wrong? What if it's not really true? What if we're in a new energy that creates this space for our loved ones, that they're so close to us, their energy is so close that all we have to do is use our spidey senses, is just tune in to the energies that are all around us, and suddenly they're so close. I don't often see them. Sometimes I can see, sometimes I can hear. Mostly I feel everything. And I feel their energies. I feel the energies of your son. It makes, every time I tune in on him, he makes me cry. He's so in love with his mother. And he's so grateful and so thankful and so blessed. And this is all happening for you. It's not a punishment. It happened for a reason. It was part of a plan. So let go of your guilt and shame and blame. That everything happens for a very good reason. And many souls are crossing over right now, and they're doing work on the other side, or they're coming back in as more advanced beings, because there's a lot of work here to do. And his work as that human form was simply complete, or it wouldn't have worked. He would not have overdosed. Okay? So know that there's a purpose to this, and grasp onto that, hold right onto it and say, okay, if there's a purpose to this, then I'm going to help him. I'm going to be here. I'm going to do whatever I can do to give that purpose to him, to make his life really count. That's his message to you. His contract was never up. You need to know that. He's like, no, contract was never up. This was part of the contract, and it continues. He's still very present in your life. That contract is not up. He still is holding on to his share of the bargain, and he's waiting for you to do your share. It's still there. You're still very much in contact. You're still very much there, okay? Yeah, don't think he's going away anytime soon. There's work that you two will both do, and he will help you. His energy, when they pass over, I've got to say this because it's coming in so clearly. It's when we lose loved ones and they go out of physical form and into spirit. They still are working on the other side. Please know that. We never stop growing. We never stop expanding. We never stop learning, even when we step out of physical form. And so Many of us, many physical beings are choosing to step out right now. If you look at the news, it's crazy because there is so much work to do, and it's not just physical work. We're here holding this physical body, holding this beautiful energy, helping to raise the vibration of the planet. And when we step out of physical form, we're still light working. We're still doing the work on the other side. We're still raising the vibration. We're still pulling in this new energy. They're still working. He's still working. Okay? Even though he has no more pain and suffering, he is still a part of this whole movement that we're going through, and so many others are too. Okay? How do I know? Well, my share is just be here. Don't work too hard. Don't think too hard. When we think too hard, we get it all messed up. Just be, and you will know. And that sounds really, but that is true. Spend more time in stillness. When you're in stillness, you find your place. If you don't know me well, mine was the bathroom floor. I had all these kids, and the only place I could get that was quiet was in our bathroom. And my kids would say, "Mom's gone to Narnia again." I go in there and I just sat on the floor. I rolled out a nice soft quilt and a couple of pillows, and I would curl up in a fetal position. I went through my grieving in there. I cried a lot. I learned how to seriously meditate in there. I put some beautiful music on. I would light a candle, do whatever would bring me closer to the sense of stillness. And it helped me to come closer to Steve, to have better communication with him. And it also helped me to get the help that I needed. He led me directly to the teacher that I needed. And it helped me to realize that I didn't always have to look to Steve. That when I was on that floor, I didn't have to call on Steve to come in and help me, that I could call on my higher self, which was amazing to me. I was like, what are you talking about? I could call on angels. I had a whole team that I never knew I had until after Steve died, and I started really, really looking. And he, in that time of loss, his part of the contract was to wake up the healer inside of me. So while he was sick, in my longing to save him, my hands would light right up in meditation. And I began to feel the energy in his body, and I could feel where he had illness, and in his final days he had peace, because I was able to give that to him. So know that. We get so focused on life and death and the ends and the beginnings, and the truth is it's all the same. It's all the same. We're always working. Our energy is always there, and there's a purpose and a plan in all of these comings in and goings outs. There's a plan in all of that. And so when we can step out of that pain part for a little while, we still have those waves like I was talking about before. It doesn't just go away. It'll be 5 years in September since Steve passed, and I still go into my times of, God, I just miss you so much. I was doing it this morning. I just miss you so much. But his energy is so amazing. So I don't want to pull him back to what he used to be. I don't want him to suffer and hurt anymore. I am so in love with this being that he is now. He's so smart and so wise, and his energy is so incredible. And he comes to me with this, and he brings me rainbows. And, like, who else could you date that would ever bring you rainbows? The most beautiful flowers and butterflies come out of nowhere, and these red birds. And, like, I see miracles all the time. So I don't want to bring him back to the suffering that he had when he was here on the earth. I would like to spend one more day with him, of course. But I feel his energy all the time because I'm open to it. So I hope that is speaking volumes to you, Sandy. Lisa, you're beautiful. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope that speaks volumes. It's important today. It was like, okay, why are you here, Steve? And Steve is here for you. He's here for you. Because he always knows when somebody needs to be reminded that we are more than physical beings. So much more. And even though we're still walking around here, I remember, Sandy, I was just like you. I was like, well, why am I still here? Why did you leave me here? What do you that's not really fair. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. And that was my biggest question, was like, okay, if I'm still here, and how am I going to honor you? And I was like, what can I do? What can I do? And after nearly 5 years, the biggest answer to that he gives me is the most important thing There's the most beautiful blue jay right outside my window right now. Thank you, Steve. The most important thing that we can do is to remember who we really are, which is so much more than this physical being. And then we start to allow that stillness so that we grow and we expand, and so that we're able to really fulfill our mission here, whatever that might be, and we don't have to figure it out. And many of us are just here to be here. We're just here to help usher in this beautiful energy of love. So it may be that you're very likely already doing what you came here to do, but your son will help you and help you to expand so that you're more open, so that you're a better receiving station, so that as you reach out for his love, you open up to this beautiful attachment, the connection that you have to the other side. And so they often stay close to us so that we can experience a taste of what it's like on the other side. And as we do, we expand. The love in us gets bigger and bigger and bigger, like this big balloon in the chest. And pretty soon, we go out in the world and people are like, oh gosh, like they respond to your energy. You'll know when that's happening, because you'll notice how people change towards you. They suddenly recognize and they respond, and it helps them to wake up. So oftentimes there's nothing more that we're supposed to do than just be here. Just be here, allow for that love to come in, open yourself right up to it, and let that beautiful boy of yours come in and show you what real love is. Experience what you are. Because that's the thing, is you are that overwhelming, complete, unconditional. I don't like the word unconditional anymore, because unconditional means that there would be a condition, and there's really no condition. It's all just love, pure. So that's your job here. Just be love. Just be. Just be. All the rest of it, you'll do stuff, but all the rest of it is just icing on the cake. You are the gift here. You stayed here because you wanted to experience this. You wanted to be here through this huge change, the shift that we're going through. All our souls, many of us are just here for that. We just I just want to be here. I've been like that since I was probably every lifetime I've ever had. I just want to see it. I just want to do it. I can't just rest. I got to be here. I got to do it. I want to experience it. We're like little children, and that's okay. It's beautiful. You guys are, all of you, you're doing a beautiful job. No, you're not crazy at all. Sandy, we need to have a talk. Please, anybody that ever has this kind of experience and is trying to reach out to a loved one and trying to experience and trying to move forward and trying to open up to their own higher self, trying to go through this, please feel free to contact me. We can have a phone call, we can have a chat, we can have a session if you'd like, and we'll talk and we'll open up about it, and we'll find a closer relationship. We'll find that connection that you've been seeking for so long. So I'm so glad that you came here today. It is harder. I know. It gets harder. And here's the thing, is we have to get to the place where we just, excuse my language here, you got to throw those give-a-shits out the window. There are people out there that will think you're crazy when you start talking to your lost loved ones. There's people out there, and they don't matter. In the big scheme of things, they don't matter. What's more important? That you realize that you still have connection with that loved one that you lost, or their judgment? Because judgment is a waste of energy, and worrying about judgment is even a bigger waste of energy. It doesn't matter what they think. They're missing the whole purpose of being here by sitting in judgment of other people. Judgment is not ours. We don't have a right to it. And what they're doing is just wasted energy. They're wasting their life judging other people. And so we just have to go, well, I love you. I'm here if you ever really need me. And your judgment has no place here. And when you do that, when you decide that you're ready to just be and allow for your loved ones to have that interaction with you, life gets so much better. I went through the same thing. I'm so afraid people will think I'm crazy. And a few did. Even my own kids. And some of my kids still do. And it's okay, because I just love them. I love them. And when they're ready, they'll open up too. And I just keep on being me. And I just keep on letting Steve be Steve. And he's pretty amazing to have around anyway. So I promise you, when these souls, they come in close, we expand very quickly. We change very quickly. Charlie can attest to that too. And so can Carol. You're right, judgment is the opposite of love, Carol. So we just have to stop worrying about it. Why let it ruin our lives, right? The entire awakening for the last 2 years is when the crazy started. That's right. It's when that crazy stuff starts and you start accepting it. You're like, okay, well, if I'm crazy, I'm happy being crazy. I'm just happy here. It's my happy place. And I choose to be happy. And then life begins. That's where it all starts, is when you fall into that crazy a little bit. A lot. You just have to forget about the rest of it. It's too beautiful to ignore it. It's too beautiful to worry about what other people think, I promise. Went into isolation, me too. Me too. I bet most of us that have been there have gone through the same thing. We go into this place, it's one of the best places you can go. When we go into isolation and we're completely alone, we realize that we're not alone at all. It's the truth. Is that we are not alone, we were never alone, we never will be alone. And in that solitude you find such joy and such bliss. So it's okay. Go into solitude, there's nothing like it. Quarantine before COVID. Yeah, the coolest thing about COVID is it gave us that chance to isolate, didn't it? It's okay, Sandy. It's a process. It's not an easy process. You've only been in this for a year. You can't expect that that the pain does not just wither away and disappear. It just doesn't, because it's too strong. We love so greatly. We have such a huge love for somebody. We can't expect that suddenly everything just shifts. But there's those two sides of it. It's the physical part misses the physical, but the soul can reconnect with the soul. And then things really get fun. They get really interesting. And everything changes. So, yeah. I get it. We should talk sometime, Sandy. That's a pretty good... I love that you were here this morning because I was right in the right place for you. I'm sure that that's why Steve, he comes through in these moments of somebody's coming to you and it's going to need some help. And then he pops in. So... he's playing the hero again. I just got the bat signal. Yes, Steve, I saw the bat signal. Thank you. He's my Batman. He likes to play the hero. He likes to come in and try to help. So I do see him assisting. If you're willing, I do see him assisting with the two of you. So that's beautiful. Thank you, Steve. Wow. The energy. Sorry. All right, you guys. Steve's right here with us. If anybody wants to experience that energy, feel free. Just take it. I share. He's got more than enough to share. All right. Yes, it was meant to be, Sandy. It was absolutely perfect timing. Absolutely. I can see Steve and your son just kind of yanking you, pulling you in, going, okay, both of us. Steve's pulling me and your son is pulling you. So that was beautiful timing. So I'm so glad you were here. Take a big breath for anyone that's here. We have beautiful energy flowing. That does not even surprise me. Sandy's son's name is Steven. It's even spelled the same. That doesn't even surprise me. Steve and Steve. That's wild. All right, so we've got beautiful energy. We got the Steven and the Steven in here today. So whoever else wants to join us, I know Carol's here. We can pull Bill in. You got the yes on that too. Beautiful. Anyone else as a loved one? Anyone that's here for our highest good? Anyone they've got to be crossed over? No earthbound spirits right now. You come by later. Crossed over. Bringing in love. Bringing in unconditional love. Calling on Archangel Michael to protect all of us. Everyone's safe in your own little bubble of protection right now. Feel that energy wrap around you. You're perfectly safe. So put your feet down on the ground and feel those roots go down deeply. Let's get into a little meditation for a few minutes. Sandy, I know this is your first time. We do this every time, right towards the end, just to find some peace, and you need it. And they're really directing me. So I'm going to show you how to get your energy grounded, how to lift your vibration, so you come up closer to where that Stephen is, okay? So you're just going to sit quietly and be in peace. Hopefully you're in a quiet space. And we're just letting all of that unbelief fall away. We don't need it anymore. If we open up our hearts and our minds, we realize that there's nothing to be afraid of with those loved ones. There's nothing really, there's no real true loss. They're still so close. Giggling now too. It's funny. It is funny. Stephen and Stephen. I have so many Stevens pop up in my world. It's awesome. Batman and Robin. So you're feeling your roots. Just push your energy down into your feet and feel as if you are rooted perfectly to the ground. Safe, protected, sitting in the middle of a forest right now. There's a big rock. And just sit right down on that rock. I want you to breathe nice and easy, just pulling that air up from the base of your spine, pull it all the way up nice and easy. So much love energy here right now. So all it's going to take is a little bit of you breathing that love energy, and you're going to feel him so close. Take a big breath. Everyone else, for your loved ones, just feel them now. We're all gathered together in this beautiful forest. And they just walk amongst us. Ancestors coming in. Energy is super powerful. It's electric. It makes your hair stand on end. I just had the strangest, if you've ever watched Dr. Seuss, Horton Hears a Who. I'm getting the I am here, I am here, I am here, I am here. That's what I'm hearing. It's like he's been trying so hard to make you hear him. I am here, I am here, I am here. Magnifying it for you. So happy, so joyful to finally be heard. So we're all there in that beautiful space. There's like a fire blowing, or they're building a fire right in the center. So we're all surrounding. The earth is smooth under our feet. And they're building this little fire. And I see you now, each one of you that wants to play this game. And it's a serious game. What is it that you want to tell your loved ones? What is it that you've always wanted to tell your loved ones? You have a notepad and you have a pen. And I want you to see it, envision yourself writing something down. This is something that you're ready to let go of, not hold on to so tightly. We only lose contact with our loved ones because we try to hold on too tight. Isn't that funny? The tighter we hold, the harder it is for us to communicate. I am here, I am here, I am there, I am everywhere. Perfect, Carol, thank you. I am everywhere. They become everything. They're in everything. They're all around you. Feel that electricity. It's coming up the back of your neck and over your head. And as you envision something to write down, what are you giving up? I'm giving up guilt. I'm giving up shame. I'm giving up blame. I don't need to hold on to those things anymore. If you're blaming it on someone else, if you're blaming it on yourself, give it up. Those things just hold us away from our loved ones. So you write it down, whatever it is that you're ready to let go of. And when you're ready, just hold that note up in the air. And as you do, little angels swing down and they grab it from your fingertips. And they take it over, and I see them just dropping them onto the fire from up above. And as they touch the flames go blue and they spark up a little bit. And you see these beautiful sparks going off into the air, and they're being picked up like glitter. and they're swirling around in the sky, and they're coming up and they're being recycled into positive, loving energy, and then they're just sprinkling back down right over the top of you. It's been recycled, and it's coming right back down. And you feel that beautiful energy, clean and pure, allowing for healing, the healing angels to come in. Wherever you've got pain, wherever you need help releasing negative energy, clearing those chakras all the way up. You just see a tornado of heat. These angels bring heat. It's coming all the way up, like it starts at your root and comes all the way up your spine, through every one of those chakras, pulling that energy all the way up. Take a big breath. You're nice and clear and centered and grounded, raising the vibration. And sit in peace. This is a place for you to find. And when you find this, you sit down quietly, perfectly centered this way. And every time a thought comes into your head, you just release it, acknowledge it, let it go, and sit quietly and wait. Let those loved ones have a moment of your time. I'm seeing one of those horses. It's like that. Do you know the horses where you put a quarter in? You sit on it and just ride it. It's one of my favorite things to do as a child. That's what I'm seeing right now. They're out in front of the grocery stores, remember them? Whatever comes to you, there's a reason for it. Wild horses couldn't keep me away. I just got that. Wild horses couldn't keep me away. Lots of healing coming in, lots of clearing. I'm just holding the energy. Energy up to your crown, we're calling in source, allowing for this beautiful clearing waterfall of energy. See yourself standing at a waterfall now. When you're ready, just step into it. Let that water flow down. It's cooling and it's comforting. And it flows right down through, and it washes away any old residual energy, those things that you let go of. All the energy of guilt, shame, blame, whatever it is, it just washes away in that waterfall. See yourself washed clean. And when you're ready, stay there as long as you'd like. When you're ready, you turn around, and as you step out of that water, there's a loved one there with a big comfy towel. They wrap it around you. Give you a big hug. Feel that hug. Well done. What a beautiful energy. Wow. You can come back here anytime. It's all up to you. Nobody keeps them from you. Only you keep them from you. So beautiful. Wow, there's so much energy today. I don't know how many of you called in called in a loved one, but they're so present and so beautiful. almost don't want to stop. I don't want to go away. Please know that your loved ones are this close always, that all you need to do is get still. Just listen, just feel, just go into this quiet space. Let them give you that big hug. So nice and clear now, all wrapped up. We're going to come back together right in the center. Thanking the angels, the Archangel Michael, for wrapping each one of you up in big bubble of protection today. Keeping you safe, helping you to feel comforted. Thanking the loved ones that have joined us, Stephen and Bill, and everyone else that's come in. Thank you so much for joining us. I felt so many ancestors and loved ones. It's like a big party going on. Now as we're coming back together, we're going to begin to feel those roots come back up into our feet. Feel that energy pulling back up, pulling earth energy with it. Up into your feet, pull that energy, take a big breath all the way back up into your body, and as it returns to your body, I want you to begin to feel physical again. Feel your arms, your feet, your legs, your head, your hands, opening your eyes. Bring that love with you, don't leave it behind. It's always with you. You don't have to step out and leave it. It's okay. I know sometimes when you get together with them, especially in the beginning, you're afraid to let that go. They stay with you. Bring it with you. They're just all wrapped up. Never have to leave the love behind. Just breathe nice and easy. Give yourself some space. It's almost out-of-body experience, so give yourself some time to come back in. Be nice and easy. If you need to, lay down and take a rest. Call them back to you while you're sleeping. See if they'll come in and visit you while you're sleeping. That's the easiest time for them. Enjoy your day today, guys. I'm so blessed to have you pop in with me again today. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone, all your higher selves, and all the beautiful energy that was created here today. Such a blessing. Take good care. Tomorrow is Thursday. I should be back tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12:22, 1, I don't know. I'll be back tomorrow, I promise. Sandy, I'm so glad that you had that experience. So glad. That's your centered, grounded place. That's where you find him. Thank you for joining me today. You've been a blessing. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Carol. All of you. Take good care of yourselves today. I love you guys. See you tomorrow. Love you too, Lisa. Take good care.